First and foremost, I start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the honor to apostles, elders, bishops, who rule well and also taught us His truth. Shalom to you brothers out there pushing the truth and sincerity and risking your life and freedom to do so. And shalom to the few sisters that listen in silence, as the scriptures say. I'm Karav, children of the light, with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So I was watching this on Weon, and it says, live, UK and Canada recognize the state of Palestine. Historic diplomatic shift, right? And the chaos that's going on over there right now is because what happened, I believe it was October 7th, right? With Hamas and the small hats, right? And like Apostle Tara say, you brothers gotta learn to speak in code, man. You know? But long story short, yeah, because of that. And ever since then, all hell broke loose. Pretty much the whole world is involved. And we know through the spirit that it's nothing but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you know. And all of this is theatrics with these Edomites, but it's gonna get real soon, you know, because what the scriptures say, the king's heart is in the Lord's hand, and he steered whichever way he wanted to go. And I'm just paraphrasing, right? Because the Lord is gonna put it on these leaders' mind to go at it, to go at one another, right? And what the scripture in Matthew, I believe it is Matthew 12 and 26. Let me get it real quick. Matthew 12 and 26. Okay, this is Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts, and it was speaking about the wicked Pharisees, you know. And he said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And you see that right now, even in Babylon, you know, Babylon is cycling the drain, and it's cycling fast, you know. And even with the EU and NATO, you know, they're divided, you know. They're divided. And what's that scripture say? A few shall draw them out. You know, and it's speaking of the small hats over there. They got all these nations involved, man, with what's going over there in the Levant. And eventually, Russia's going to get involved. You know, BRICS is going to get involved. You know, and that's where the Lord is going to gather the kings of the earth, you know, to judge, to plead with all flesh. Yahweh Shaphat. You know, all right. It says, what is it? The 26th verse. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right, and that's what's going on, because you have the UK, England, United Kingdom, which is England and Ireland. Well, no, Salakia. I believe it's England, Ireland, and Scotland, right? Matter of fact, pulled up. UK, United Kingdom map. Okay, so Salaki on that, which is Scotland and England, you know. But where does America come out of? America and Canada. America and Canada comes out of England, you know, which is a part of the United Kingdom. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. And the hindermost of the nation is America, man. You know, when they first got over here, what did they call it? They called it the New World. You know, Zelensky told Trump in the White House that you have an ocean protecting you. You have a whole ocean protecting you, right? Okay, so it's showing you that it's the hinder most part of the nations, right? Matter of fact, let me do something. Um, Let me see something real quick. Bear with me. Mm, bear with me. Yeah, Salaki on that. But yes, the hindermost part of the nations, which is America, and it's going to be turned, which is Babylon, also known as Babylon the Great, which also would be a wilderness and a dry land, a dry land and a desert. You know, because its allies is gonna, its allies is going to turn its arsenal and unleash it on Babylon the Great, right? And let me get that scripture. What does it say? All ye that bend the bow. This is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Okay, well, I could just keep reading on down. All right, your mother shall be confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon, and Babylon just means confusion, because ancient Babylon did not be destroyed and turned into a wilderness. You know, ancient Babylon is modern day Iraq. You know, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Right? So it's saying that it's going to be wholly desolate. No one's going to be able to live there or dwell there. It's going to be a no man's land. It's pretty much just a complete desert. And it tells you that in Isaiah the 34th chapter, I believe, you know, uh, everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about. All ye that bend the bow, all you that have nuclear arsenals, that have missiles, you know, missiles are considered arrows, you know, and what does a bow do? A bow would pretty much be a silo. It holds the missile, you know. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, the Lord, right? And that's what you're seeing is happening, you know. Uh, uh, all of these allied nations, even our parent, which is England, is like, man, look, we going in a different direction, because you know Babylon is wholly supporting the small hats, you know, sending $10 million a day to aid them, you know, and Trump said earlier this year that he wanted to turn the Gaza into a resort, you know, but then you have UK and Canada saying, nah, we're trying to get aid in there. You know, we're trying to help the people out. You even have other prime ministers saying that they want to bring Mr. Yahoo to up on war crimes. You see? So they completely divided, man. You know, and then they pissed about having to pay so much for oil. Don't forget about the pipeline that that was blown up during the Biden administration, the Nord Stream pipeline. All right. So this is Daniel 2:41. Then I'm gonna close. Bear with me. Matter of fact, Daniel 2 and okay, the 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, it shall break in pieces and bruise. And that's going into the Roman Empire. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter clay and part iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And that's the revived Roman kingdom. You know, the fourth beast whose deadly wound was healed. You know, and that was the rebirth of the Roman Empire, beginning with Cristobal Colon, and then the Renaissance, and then you have a such thing as the Treaty of Rome, you know, and then you have the NATO and the EU. They act as like the Rome did. Rome had vassal states and it had subsidiary states, and the same way in this kingdom, right? And it's also a democracy like Rome was, right? You have a Senate House. In Rome, you had Capitol Line Hill. You know, today you have a Capitol Hill. You know, Rome was represented by an eagle, and then today you have America, which is represented by the eagle. You know, so this is Rome all over again, right? It says, whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so shall the kingdom be partly strong and partly broken. Right, because you know you have certain countries that are strong, you know, like England, France, you know, and then you have weaker states, you know, that'd be probably considered clay, like Portugal, you know, Greece, you know, but they're divided, you know, they don't agree on everything, you know, and you're seeing that right now. That's why I opened up with, if Satan be divided against himself, then how shall his kingdom stand, right? And that's the time we in, man. You know. So with that, I pray you were edified, and shalom to the next time. Shalom to the elect. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.